Legacy. What will you leave behind? What will people say about you when you're gone? I started today to tell the story of a Memphis legend. Many of you've walked past his statue at Memphis in May, but you've never really thought about him. You've never thought about him as a person who lived and walked in the streets that you do. I went to his burial site. It was not accessible due to overgrowth. His home, once gifted, in shambles. So I started this story in a different place, in a different neighborhood. This story starts today in East Memphis, near Park and Cherry, at the Dixon Gallery and Gardens. A beautiful home that I'd never been to before I started to tell this story. It's open to everyone, and one of the few institutions in Memphis that is actually free until 2024. It is free admission for the galleries and gardens. It is the legacy of the Dixon family, Hugo and Margaret Dixon. Their beautiful home, as well as the extended galleries and gardens, change rapidly. What you go one month may not match what you see another month. Historical items, modern paintings, inspirations, education, bits of information that those in our city might not see in other places. The idea to be inspired, to inspire the public, to inspire the people to learn more, and to be exposed to things that they would not have otherwise. Gardens contain wonderful benches and flowers and forests. Its gardens, they change rapidly with the seasons. The sunflowers are great. You never know what you may see staring back at you from the woods. Home, though, how did I come to be here for this story today? For this home is the legacy of Margaret and Hugo Dixon. That wasn't what I planned to tell you about today. I planned to tell you a very different story in a very different neighborhood. This museum is worth a visit, and you should visit frequently. I've driven past it my whole life. As a Memphian, we know that we see these places and we think about these places like Graceland, but so many of us have never been. This is an example where I also, as I said, I had never been. I started, though, to tell the legend. What is the legend that I started to tell? It's a story of a man long ago that saved 30 lives. On a ship right off the city of Memphis. This one man could not swim. He was the only rescuer on site at the time. He was gifted a pension in his home with his family to the his story, though, his burial site, markers at his burial site. There's other legends as well. I'll tell their story another day. His park, his namesake park in downtown Memphis, currently a construction to tell his story. But have you ever thought about this man that saved more than what they have to do with the Dixon culture, the art, the legacy of the Dixons? Small use that day was just Margaret Oates. She had not yet. She would have paired everything to go to the gallery, and I hope you do. It's a great place to visit. It's a great place to and just find a bench in the garden, in the yard, read a book, take a picture. But notice, when you see the wall with all of the familiar family names of Memphis, thousands of dollars donated, their legacies in painting, their names will be remembered for a few decades more. Remember that one name that was not on the wall. That name whose story I started to tell you today. That name was Tom Lee. Without him, and all of the hard work of the Dixons, but also without him, none of this would exist. It's a rare moment in time that you can look back in history and say, if he would have looked a different way, if he'd have been a little slower or a little faster, so much would not exist. Maybe it's time that his name go onto the legacy wall. He did not donate money. He did not donate funds. He had none at that time to give. He did donate kindness. And through his legend, he also left a legacy. Thank you to the Dixons for making this wonderful exhibit open to the public. Thank you to all of those who've worked hard. But also, thank you to Tom Lee, who showed kindness and saved more than 30 lives, even though he himself could not even swim. Stay tuned to part 2 to learn more about Tom Lee.